Hi, everyone, and welcome to A Seat at the Bar. I'm your host, Skylar Campbell. In today's episode, I had the pleasure of getting to chat with SCDC artist Larkin Miller. Born in Los Angeles, California, Larkin trained at the School of American Ballet and American Ballet Theatre JKO School in New York City. He joined the National Ballet of Canada in 2016 as an apprentice and recently entered the Corps de Ballet in 2018. Larkin and I had a great time chatting, and I think he is such a fun and thoughtful guy, with a great career ahead of him. Larkin, thanks so much for taking the time to join me on the podcast this morning, and afternoon for me, because you're on the West Coast, which I'm really jealous about. It's great to see you. I don't see any palm trees in the back, so if we could just angle the camera so I can see a palm tree. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's actually one out there, but
I miss those things. So how have you been since we've last seen each other?
It's been going well. It's been going
Yeah.
swimmingly. In my backyard, we have a pool. That's what I'm really trying to illustrate there.
Nice.
But I was in Toronto for about 2 weeks, and
Okay.
just couldn't really figure out an actual schedule to hold, like in my little apartment. So I told my parents, and they took me home pretty quickly. So I'm here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was nice. You kind of jetted out here pretty fast at the beginning of the whole thing. It was nice you had somewhere to go. You have roommates here in Toronto, or were you by yourself?
I was by myself in a one-bedroom.
Yeah, that's tough.
It was just tough to angle like all of my rugs, my big couch. I have a TV and stuff. I mean, obviously. So it was just tough to like reorganize and also redistribute the energy of the apartment to figure out how to work out in it and view it as a whole studio. When I kind of mentally, I put it as like a meditative center. It's just a place to decompress, calm down, just rebuild myself for the next day. So it was hard to function it as more of a workout facility.
That's so true. Yeah, I'm getting really tired of moving my dining room table into the living room every time I want to roll out my Marley to do class. But Jackie and I actually will be flying to California next week to do this.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we have a place to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Don't worry, for everyone that's listening. We are staying separate for them for 2 weeks, and then we'll go and stay with them for, the amount of time we have to until this thing is over and we can get back into the studios at MBSC. But like I said before, it's great to have you here today, and I wanted to get started by pretty much asking what I've been asking most of the dancers when they first come on is, why did you decide to become a dancer?
I first decided to become a dancer because I did 2 years of musical theater. And Skylar?
Yeah, the connection kind of just went out. We're regaining Larkin, and he's back.
Hey, all right. So I became a dancer because I first did 2 years of musical theater when I was in middle school, grade 7 and 8, and it was actually to get away from PE because I didn't want to do PE. And that was like a physical education credit. So obviously, as more of the physical education of it, there was a dance unit in it. And I was so nervous singing on stage, even though I had like a couple solos over the course of those 2 years. And acting, I always felt it really weird to breathe and speak at the same time when you just have like words in your head, but you also need to like be a human being off on the other side of it. So embodying a character just through words didn't really make sense to me, but I felt the most expressive and free. This freedom came over me when I was dancing, and I could just hear the music and embody that music. And also we did Pippin at that time, and that's specifically choreographed with Bob Fosse. So I really fell in love with Bob Fosse's movements, all the intricacies, hip movement.
He's the best.
He's amazing. He's amazing. And just the way his interpersonal relationships on stage, like he'll just move a hip and you'll move a little bit. And it's all through humor too. It's this really simplistic but complex humor. And then there's also Ben Ream, who was like the leading player is the name of the guy in Pippin, and I just fell in love with him dancing. So I tried to emulate him and try to get the leading player name of the role, and I didn't, but I still got to dance, and that was like my first real expression of dance. Um, yeah, the first
So your
real.
first exposure to dance was through sort of musical theater, but were you singing as well in that?
It was something that I could just do, but I never felt really passionate or connected with. My
Uh-huh.
my actual background is athletics. I did baseball, basketball, and soccer. So
Right.
yeah, so I know how to work hard. I know the physicality of the body. I had the
Yeah.
raw like inertia force that I could use my body towards, but I
Hmm.
didn't have any of the shape or the form. Um, yeah.
Right. So then why ballet? What was it about ballet that interested you?
Well, I felt like I could relatively perform, obviously through the
Right.
musical theater, and I had this knack, this gift of kind of connecting with the audience. I was never scared of the crowd. I always looked it dead in the
Yeah.
eye and wanted to connect with it and wanted to feel what I was feeling. I think that's also the nature of a true artist. To I
Hmm.
feel
Hmm.
something, and it's probably very complex within yourself, but um, to relay that and try to breach that common ground, build a bridge between you and the audience. Um, so yeah, I
So
started off.
ballet came through just like one of the other
Yeah,
things you had
that
to do in your training. It was like, because I know like we all start, tap, jazz, modern. We're in our small little ballet schools, and ballet is kind of one of the options. Was it like that for you?
yeah, it was over this scope. So I went to Los Angeles County High School for the performing arts, for the arts, and
Okay.
so to figure out that form, I quickly realized that ballet had the most form and the most discipline, and
Yeah.
I had this rawness about me. But ballet, we talk about the lines of ballet, and that was the form that I needed, was this immersive, complex art form of ballet to really sculpturally, geometrically proportion me. And I remember also
Yeah.
the word of proportionality. Within like 2 months, my body just got like shredded. I lost all the water weight. I lost all my baby fat. I looked in the mirror and I
Yeah.
went, I like the way that
Yeah.
looks. I want to keep
Yeah.
looking like this. I want to keep feeling like this. And then through my sports background, you have to run miles in soccer. You have to do conditioning drills in basketball. And this was the hardest thing I did by far. My muscles cramped within the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
sweat pouring down my face. My teacher would have us do early on, he'd make us do like a 2-3 minute long bar combination, and then we'd have to hold a balance for the exact
Oh.
amount of time we'd actually done the exercise. So I was cramping within the first 15 minutes. It was
Yeah.
the hardest thing I'd done by far in my sports career, in my life. It gave me stability within my mind as well to go, okay,
Uh-huh.
no one's really someone's telling you to do this, but you could walk out of the room like you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for
Yeah.
your own love of yourself. Like it's
Yeah.
also an act of practicing self love for me.
I like that. Yeah, we are doing it for ourselves, but then we're also kind of immersed in this kind of group environment where we're feeding off of each other's energy as well. So I love that that's what attracted you to ballet. Was it was just like the hardest thing you ever did
Yeah.
within sport, within your performing career, or your performance background. Loving to be on stage, and I definitely see that within your performances. Is that you love to embody characters and connect with the audience, and I think so many of us do. So I I, I admire that in you. What or who has been a positive influence on you as a dancer? So you mentioned you trained at a performing arts high school.
Yeah.
Was there a particular dancer there, staff or a coach, or even a non-dancer through your time there? And then I want to get into your journey coming up here to Toronto and what brought you to the National Ballet. But who was kind of nurturing you in Los Angeles at that time
Yeah.
as a student?
Um, yeah, great question. I haven't thought about my journey in a while. It's really nice actually.
Now's the
Um,
time.
yeah, man, you got a lot of time to think about, especially when you're home, right? You like You have
Yeah.
all these memories in your childhood house, and it just pings in your head. So it just connected 2 points. The my ver- the funny fact for me is that, so I told my parents in Chicago, because my dad's from Chicago, and he used to see the Joffrey Valley and stuff. He would go, so we were in this hotel room and we're having a meal, and I go, okay, I'm gonna be a dancer. I want to be a ballet dancer. And my dad goes, and there's just like silence amongst the whole room because I'm the sports guy. I'm supposed to be in the MLB or NBA or something. And my mom goes, no, you can't do it. I don't want you to do it. And my sports Midwestern father who wrestled, played football, goes, I think this is good for you. I think this is who you're supposed to be. I think you
Oh
should
my
do
God.
this. So the first person that was supportive of me was my father. Not that my mom wasn't supportive, but she was from the arts world,
Right.
understood how hard it was. She was a model, she was
Yeah.
an actor, she moved to LA when she was 17. So my dad was actually the first positive influence on me. And then when you're in LA, the only place that logically I felt like I could go was New York City. So then I had this one teacher named Zipporah Cars, who was like a second mother to me, and she pushed me towards New York City and New York City Ballet. So I went to the School of American Ballet within 2 years, um, and understood the quickness, sharp precision of ballet, which is sometimes underdeveloped in dancers. You Skylar, are tremendously good at those sharp, almost percussive beats that can be
Yeah.
held on
Yeah.
stage. So I learned about that. My muscles got really taut, really strong as you do quick bars and understand placement
Yeah.
extraordinarily better. Then fell in love with American Ballet Theater and sort of their artistry. So my artistry could kind of come out a little bit more. I went to their school. Um, and yeah, it's just really interesting the more you think about ballet. And it's just this syllabus that's extremely simple. You see pictures of it, but every single place has such dynamic range of artistry or
Yeah.
precision or just the way they think about like using the floor, pointing your foot. So I think that's beautiful in ballet
It's
as
nice.
well.
It's nice you got a kind of um, a taste of SAB and the JKO school.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Was Raymond and Franco your teachers there at
yeah,
JKO?
yeah, those were my teachers at ABT.
Nice.
Franco was such a like just I think he had the brightest smile that I had ever witnessed. Just the sheer
Yeah.
love from those people. And Franco, he had this he had this very simple, precise class you had to get perfectly, and then there was Raymond, who was just more artistry, more face, more turnout, more hip, more foot,
Yeah.
and it was really a development of you as a person, as
Yeah.
a character.
They're an amazing team. And for our listeners that don't know, um, who are not familiar with um, the ballet world or maybe are new to the ballet world, Raymond Lukens and Franco De Vita, they created a training curriculum for American Ballet Theater's school because a lot of ballet schools have specific curriculum based on different um, ballet techniques through the Russian style, the French style, the English style, to name a few. And Raymond and Franco come from, a long history of a great ballet career and then immerse themselves into becoming great teachers. And they were the ones that actually developed the ABT's national training curriculum for the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis School in New York City. And yeah, they're wonderful people. I've known them. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your mom. So your dad was the one that pushed you or like was rooting for you, like, Larkin, go for this. I think ballet's right for you. And your mom was a little bit hesitant because she knew
Yeah.
what the career was like. Um, did she sort of, once you decided, I'm sure she was helping guide you along the way and kind of knew what the right path to take was for you to
Yeah.
become where to get where you are now today.
Yeah, she just I think the simple fact is, mother love, lioness, cub, just like wanting them to experience the wild but still nurture them. My mom just wanted me to understand the reality, I think, of the arts world,
Yeah.
and that you want to be free and you want to be expressive, and that was my first introduction to performing. But she also wanted me to understand really the ramifications and the hard work, um, and that yeah, there's physicality with ballet, and we're kind of trying to decide if it's a sport or an art form as we're trying to get endorsements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's so many different facets to it. And my mom, even nowadays, when she sees me perform, I'm like, "Hey, mom, got any notes for me?"
Yeah.
and, she's like, "No, no, no, that was beautiful. That was perfect. I have nothing to impose on you." I'm like, "Hey, mom, got any notes for me?"
You're like, Mom, I
So,
know there's something. I know there's something in
oh,
there. You're just holding back because you're being nice.
yeah, so that's just my mom in a nutshell. Like
Oh,
she
that's
has
funny.
charisma, but she has this realistic way of viewing the arts. And even you've done Fox, I've done Fox. She was like, I just want like a snarl. I just want one extra face of like a smile,
Yeah.
look, but she also wanted like a snarl. And like that's
Nice.
one little face that adds so much to your performance, and it just gives you that
Yeah.
different mode of range of character. So also how I can embody roles, I feel has a lot to do with my mom. Just talking about it, trying to figure
Oh,
out
that's, that's so sweet.
like nuances.
So after your training at JKO school with Raymond and Franco, what attracted you to the National Ballet of Canada? Did you ever imagine yourself coming to Toronto and dancing for this company?
Yeah, it was definitely always in the back of my mind. I think Franco talked about you a lot. He said I
Oh,
had,
really?
yeah, he was like I had a student who,
Yeah. So just
uh,
a sidebar, I know Raymond and Franco through my mom and stepdad who were dancers as well at the Hartford Ballet. When Raymond and Franco first came to North America from Italy, they were teaching and coaching in the Hartford Ballet, and I was just a little lad in the studio there. So they've kind of followed my career. Although I never trained with them, which I really wish I had. I had a couple opportunities too, but I ended up staying back home. Um, yeah, so they've had you know they've had a minor influence on me, and I've always kept in touch. So I think they're wonderful people. I'm really jealous that you got to
yeah,
actually have the day in and day out with them because I think they're really
yeah,
all the things I have to say are very valuable, and they train such amazing students and professionals. So anyway, that was just kind of I just wanted to fill in everyone about how they knew me. So yeah, they were kind of pushing you to go to MBOC.
Well, actually, so then to tie those 2 points together, so I first heard about National Ballet of Canada because they said they had influenced someone like you. So the first time I heard about National Ballet of Canada was more like, hey, Skylar Campbell is at the National Ballet of Canada. We have a little. It was kind of towards you. I first heard about National Ballet of Canada talking about you being there.
Oh, that's
Um,
so funny.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the thing. So we said like
Oh my gosh.
we know someone National Ballet of Canada, so it's you.
So you're like another California boy that in Toronto. Like I must go there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of Californians are actually in National Valley Canada.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's true. Ethan.
yeah. Um,
Anyway,
sorry.
so so you
So, so
you
I
you
first,
auditioned?
yeah, yeah, I auditioned, and Lindsay accepted me. And Lindsay saw my
Nice.
potential, and so I always viewed National Ballet of Canada as like the Royal Ballet of North America. Um, and the Royal is just so pristine and so classical, and it just does the pure classical ballets, the big canon ballets with such precision and pristine lines. So that was never me early on, and it's still not exactly me, even though I'm striving to be like that, and I'm inspired by
Yeah,
everyone to have this enormous amount of clarity and cleanliness. So
yeah,
it was more of a place of just like awe. I would look at it, and it was like the
yeah,
Emerald City, and I wasn't sure if that was exactly me. I wasn't sure if I could exactly get there, but it was new. But I knew it was a dream. I knew it was some place that it was in my mind that I wanted to be. So I auditioned for the apprentice program with Lindsay Fisher, and he's also another positive person in my life that I owe a lot to. Just also with the cleanliness and helping my body to achieve lines and shapes and beauty as a whole. But really just a thought process. I think that's beautiful about Lindsay and your first introduction to the company. Um, is
Yeah.
really gauging a mindset in how to improve by yourself, for yourself, how to integrate amongst a company. It's really hard, especially as a young person with dreams and aspirations, to come in with 70 dancers who have tried just as hard as you, and you're not in school anymore, just trying harder than someone, but everyone's tried as hard as you, and everyone has
Yeah.
went past their physical domains, physical capabilities to be more. So yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay. So when you join the company as an apprentice, you go through the U-Dance apprentice program, and you're able to perform with the company, and then you have your own repertoire on the side, performing outreach shows for the community here in Toronto and outside of Toronto sometimes too, even. So all the apprentices are introduced to, or Lindsay first. They're kind of um, yeah, like you said, their first introduction to the company, and he is the director of that program as well as a ballet master. So yeah, he's had a, I spent 2 years in the apprentice program
Me too.
because I had a lot to work on when I first joined, and I think I feel like the growth rate is super fast when you're young and when you're first in, because like you said, everyone's working, as hard as can be. And I think that's when you find the most development. Within 1 year, you can see a dancer change. And I definitely saw that in you too, like what you were saying about the refinement, and like you were just like, you know, extreme, like powerful. You had all the jumps and all the tricks, and it's what you were saying about what you liked about the Royal Ballet, which the National Ballet definitely captures and has the essence of, is that the extreme refined attention to detail and line, um,
Yes.
which I love too. Um, do you have any dream roles?
Dream roles? Yeah, I do. I do. I'm always caught in between the two. I feel like you as well. Like, I want to be the prince. Like, I want to be Albrecht.
Yeah,
Um, but like, I have such a love and affinity in myself to like characters. Um,
yeah,
like, I want to be like Mercutio. I wanna,
right.
I want to kind of be
Yeah,
like a scandalous fellow that
yeah,
maybe has a lot of promiscuous tendencies like that. I like also I really want to be Rothbart. I want like the cape. I want to like
yeah.
man something. Maybe
So you want
fly.
to do these like super dramatic character roles, which are equally as fulfilling, if not maybe more so than say the lead prince, which is you're the lead. I mean, that's amazing too, and you have it's just a different sort of demeanor that you have to impose on these two characters, and I feel you with that. Like I struggle with that sometimes. Like what when people ask me what um, I want to dance. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words because you know what you're good at and then you know what you want to do, but there's not enough. Sometimes there's not enough to go around for everyone because
Yeah.
the person next to you may be more suited to it than yourself. So you're gonna have to find either some joy and satisfaction in the opportunities you're given, and then possibly look elsewhere to get those other roles, meaning whether it be smaller or just a different company somewhere else. So I've always
Yeah.
have gone back and forth with in my mind about this. So it's it's interesting to hear you say the same.
Yeah. 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 Also, like the daily bread, kind of where I get the most satisfaction. I feel like is class. You can be you can put any single character into pretty much every single combination, I feel. So if I don't feel like
Yeah,
I'm getting one thing in the rehearsal process, like in the studio after class, I can kind of give my love and my energy in class and kind of
yeah,
do like a different turn that's a little more Spanish, or
Yeah,
do a big
I
jump in a
like that.
different.
I mean, I've been taking or I've been I wouldn't say I've been taking. I've watched a couple of videos and I took a couple of intro classes to the Martha Graham's technique, and
Oh,
the whole basis is performing. Like you're performing in the sequences.
oh
And I
wow.
thought that was something interesting to apply to our ballet class, which we don't ever do. Like we treat our ballet class as sort of a warm up, or most of us do,
Yeah.
myself included. But sometimes it's necessary to come to bar and actually perform at the
Yeah.
bar. You know, like pretend like you're on stage, like pretend it's etudes.
Yeah.
um,
For real.
and it's gonna wake you up in a different way. It's gonna spark your mind in a new and kind of refreshing way. So and yeah, you definitely do that, which is so awesome.
Yeah. I
Bringing different
mean,
characters to the center combination.
yeah. Um, just as like to get my Albrecht, to get my
Yeah,
Albrecht, whatever, right? Just to feel like Albrecht. I for
yeah, 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 yeah.
for Halloween, I had a cape and I was Dracula, and I was like
I
waving it
remember that.
around. And I'm wearing a cape. I can't turn, so I'm gonna like hide it over my face. And then
Yeah, just
for my
gotta
finish,
work it.
I was like waving it during Grand Battement. So like you just gotta play with it. You gotta figure out just as you kind of said, like you gotta figure out what you're good at, what your actual strengths are, what is prominent in your dancing as a whole, like how you perceive yourself. And then you got to
Hmm.
figure out how other people perceive yourself. And that could be kind of like an evolution of your spirit. So you're going to try to be more. You're going to be the prince. You're going to be this extra little character role that you
Hmm.
might not think you could have, but someone sees it within you. And that's also the beautiful thing about ballet. It's like it's a constant struggle of growth. And there's this creative coaching process,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
like you can't just learn a ballet by yourself. You can't just learn a character or role by yourself. You need to always go into the studio and get it passed down to you. Have this research almost, like it's almost like a
Hmm.
science experiment. Like it's a research in yourself, and someone tells you what to do. You do an
Hmm.
experimentation process, and yeah, just
Hmm.
discovering yourself, but also realize you can be more than yourself. Like just this essence
Hmm.
of like art and human being, like as a whole. I think it's so beautiful and so prevalent in ballet. I really love it.
What are you doing when you're not dancing then?
When you're not
I'm
dancing,
looking forward to hearing what you say about this because I don't think you ever stop dancing, Larkin.
man, I've went through literally complete periods of doing like exercises like 24 hours a day, um, or like I just like I do things that I even play basketball sometimes over the summer, even though I'm not supposed to, but I view it as a workout or like a new refinement of elegance. Like you can play basketball in a lot of different styles, just like you can
Yeah.
play, just like you can do ballet. Um, I do like to play video games too. I like to play old school games that don't have like online platforms and way you can connect with people. So I have friends who play those video games.
Nice.
Just for all the nerds out there, Super Mario Smash Brothers, all the installments on like every single system I can play. We actually have it in the locker rooms. Skylar seen Trigman and I play
Oh
Super Mario
yeah.
Smash Bros for hours and hours and hours.
That's
Um,
a that's yeah, that's a I don't think very many people know of that.
yeah, we have a Nintendo 64, not even a Switch.
Yeah.
Okay, we just play Super Mario Smash Brothers on for hours. Um, yeah, I also like swimming. I know you're a water sports guy too. I got a pool like
Yeah,
right over
swimming's
there.
great. Yeah, that's nice you have a pool.
Yeah.
That's so helpful. I feel like I every time I get into the pool or the ocean, I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like out of breath. I can't breathe. Like I need.
Yeah.
Uh, you lose that kind of swimming cardio if you don't do it every day.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So tough with that.
Yeah. And then there's also with swimming, you can't breathe for a while, so you need to relax. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's a big thing with me about ballet. It's like I can just force stuff and push it and understand that I can muscle through stuff, but as you get older, you have to relax, and you need to just relax your breathing and relax. One side of your body normally has more tension residually than the other. So learning how to relax is also something I've been trying to do recently. A little less ankle exercise and a little more like meditation. Um,
Yeah.
Coming down from workouts, the cool down, just breathing like consciously. Um,
Yeah, I think the cool down, like you mentioned, is really important. As you're a young dancer in a relatively large ballet company, and when you first join the company, your schedules are pretty busy because you could be learning solos, and then you have to do all your core work as well. It's a busy schedule. What was your motivation for taking on an outside project like SCDC?
yeah. Well, Skylar, you really piqued my interest with this project. Um, Skylar really told me that he really brought my Californian sentimentality to play. And he really told me, I'm talking to you, obviously, I'm talking to people who might be watching this, um, that it was like a coming back to home. He said that, Larkin, you and we went to Toronto, we discovered what we could outside of our homeland of California, and now he wants to come back to his roots, and I want to also come back to my roots, as we're both Southern California natives.
Yeah.
So it's like a homecoming for us. I feel like we've ventured out into the new world, and we've discovered all of these tools, these resources, and you want to like give back to the community. And we haven't toured to Los Angeles or Orange County for a while, so I have a home studio here that I really want people to see me dance.
Yeah.
I really want to give back to the community and understand that like I would not be where I am going to Paris and Russia without my teacher Stefan Wenta, who I've mainly trained with here now, and like all these people who just come to me and ask me how my year's been, like when I come home every single time. And then also, you, Skylar, have also really pushed me with different rep and different variations and stuff. That solo that we were rehearsing on the studio, it's so not me. It's very quick. It's very precise. There's on the dawn turns. You have to hold to a releve and freeze time. And I'm normally just freezing in the air, but I'm not freezing like my arm or freezing like my knees in a certain position. So.
Right. Well, that was to your point there. I wanted to pick reps that would challenge us in new ways that we might not have the opportunity to do in our big organizations, because they're just operated and they're managed and they run in a different format. So kind of taking a similar idea and just distilling it down to something more intimate and somewhere where we can share ideas and give ourselves more challenging repertoire was another part of the idea. So I'm happy you took on that challenge, because you have to be motivated to be doing sort of solos and different the rep that may feel like it doesn't suit you, but you're open to trying, because I think that's a really good way to grow.
Yeah, you got to always evolve, man. And I think SCDC, you're pushing us rhythmically, musically, just physically to be more than ourselves. And that's like a lot of the time in a big ballet company, you're pinpoint to a certain role, to a certain style of music. You're good at it, so you can continuously be good at it, but you need to do stuff that pushes you past that comfort zone to be more than yourself, to evolve. And I really feel like that's what you're trying to do. So I really admire you for that. And just to be an entrepreneur, man, go out, go do
Thanks,
it.
man. Yeah.
Go bring it back home too, which
Doing our best.
That's my home too. I love it. I love it so much. It's great.
So hopefully we'll get there next summer.
Yeah, man.
I haven't done this on the pod yet, but I think it would be fun to do a little rapid fire question with you. For the record, everyone, Larkin has not seen these questions. Are you ready?
Try my best, man. Trying to make a fool out of myself.
Here we go. Is there an app on your phone that you hate but you use anyway?
Yeah. It's called Instagram. The
Ah,
egotistical
the dreaded Instagram.
dreaded Instagram. Such self-satisfaction. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I know.
Um, Probably like food delivery service, man. You can't even walk outside. You just get lazy. You just get food delivered.
Best
Food
thing in
delivery.
your fridge right now.
Oh, butter. Because I don't have butter at home. I don't have butter in my dancer household in Toronto, and my family has butter. It's magical. Butter is magic.
Ah, yes, I love that answer. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Sushi, 100%.
Okay.
SoCal for life. Sushi's my favorite food by far. Actually, soy
Yeah, there's a lot of tacos in California though too, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to have sushi Fridays at school. My
Uh,
mom would bring me sushi on a Friday, but also I love soy sauce way too much. Soy sauce is kind of like my favorite food, so it like
okay,
pairs
so
perfectly.
sushi, soy sauce, hand in hand.
Yeah.
Do you recycle?
Yes, 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 religiously. I have like 2 bins.
Perfect. Favorite type of workout?
Favorite type of workout? Ooh, well, I
It
got
seems
one that
like this is kind of a good question because you're pivoting a little bit in your kind of fitness journey to this more meditative cool down state of mind.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I used to lift weights, right? Like 30 to 50 pounds bench press stuff. But I've been doing
Uh,
a lot of TheraBand resistance nowadays. So like foot
mhm,
stuff I've always done, but like I'll stand on a stability disc and
mhm.
then just like do 5 pound weights if I do it, or just
Yeah,
resistance of a TheraBand. So just the
nice.
continuous meditative journey of like muscle contraction, just
Yeah,
going for longer periods of time.
love that. Music you're listening to right now.
Music I'm listening to right now too. I listen to a lot of Anderson Paak. I feel like he's an old Motown soul in this like hip hop R&B generation. So I think he's blending a lot of both worlds together. I really like it.
Nice. Best way to spend a rainy afternoon. It is a rainy afternoon here in Toronto. I don't know what it's like there in
Rainy
Southern
afternoon,
California.
rainy afternoon for me is to listen to it, go off somewhere, and then walk back home in the rain. I love walking home in the rain.
Uh, yes. I love being inside and listening to the rain, like kind of uh, hit against the window, and there's like that odd sunny spot in if you have like carpet by a window, you can just like
Yeah,
this weird like rainy and sunny sort of duality.
yeah.
My favorite part. The best part about waking up,
Coffee,
Folgers,
Folgers, man, in your cup.
in your cup.
Feels better. Feels better that way.
I'll have to agree with you on that. Coffee is one of the best parts of waking up for me too. But I'm doing a more artisanal bean. I must say I'm not a Folgers guy anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I don't actually do Folgers either. I'd like
Okay.
Shoppers. There's like Costa Rican flavor or like Moroccan roast.
Love
So
it.
my friends always say I have the best coffee.
So now you can take more time to think about this, and I have a thought on this question as well. When you're 90 years old, what will matter to you most?
Dang, 90's up there, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I think
way.
90 is more of a metaphor to,
Okay,
I don't want to say deathbed or the old age or when you're sort of looking back
okay,
on your
okay.
life.
Okay. I think it
What do you think will matter to you most at that point?
mattered to me most. Um, I think it's health. I think it's health.
Uh-huh.
Physically, to have taken care of my body. Hopefully I haven't pushed it a lot because like when we're young, we like to push our joints to extremes. So kind of the
Yeah.
preservation of my physical self,
Yes.
and then hopefully just abundance of friends and
Yeah.
family. Like I want to be that like old man squad who has friends and you just like run off just like ragging on each other like down the streets and you
Yeah.
know.
Preservation of your body, your friends, and your family, basically.
Yeah, that's it. I could get into more, but really just
I love it.
mental.
No, we can. I think that's enough said there. I think that really sums it up nicely. I was just listening to this guy, Ben Greenfield. He has a great podcast about sort of biohacking and fitness and wellness and relationships. And he had on this like a guest, Brendan Bouchard, and this guy is the world's leading high performance coach. And if you don't know who Brendan is, I would encourage everyone to look him up, and you'll see why I love him so much. Anyway, Brendan sums it up kind of in a pretty clear mantra of, did I live, did I love, did I matter? And I think these words are really simple, but if you can answer these questions at the end of each day, then I believe you're truly living a meaningful life. And at that point, you know, in your old age, if you can reflect back and know that you lived, loved, and mattered, you are living with intention and meaning, and that's kind of where I'm at. And so I feel like that's a good note to end on, actually.
Yeah, it's great, man. Got me in my feels. I love that.
Larkin, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story, because as dancers, we don't always get to voice our stories, and I believe everyone is worth listening to. It has been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Skylar. This is beautiful what you're doing all around. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
See you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to A Seat at the Bar. This podcast has been brought to you by me, Skylar, here in my apartment in downtown Toronto. I'd also like to thank my friend and colleague at the National Ballet of Canada, Joe Chapman, for lending me the necessary equipment for recording this. If you loved this episode, head over to iTunes or wherever you're listening to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's much appreciated. Also, be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Instagram page for the latest news on what SCDC is doing to bring dance closer to you. Until next time, be well.